Hello and welcome to today's lesson, which is on percentages of a amount. So we're going to go straight in with this first question. Now we're going to be looking at the bar model for this, because I think it's probably the easiest technique for us to use. So first of all, what is 10% of 50? So the first thing I'm going to do, let's write this down as example 1. Okay, so we're doing 10% of 50. Now I want us to think about a bar like this. Okay, so this is our bar. Now this represents all of that 50, so this here is the 50 which we've got, which is equal to the 100%, okay? So this is worth everything, and what we're doing is if we want to find 10%, we want to split this up into 10 parts. So I can go split it up in half, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, split it up in half, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're splitting this up. So if I've got 50 and I want to split it up into 10 parts, remember, if you look, 100% divided by 10 is equal to, these are 10% each. Okay, each one of these is 10%. So I do 50 divided by 10, which is equal to 5. So I know that each of these are worth 5. I can put all of those in. So we know that all of them, the total is equal to 50, 5 times by 10, but we only want one of them, so 10% is equal to 5. Super. Brilliant. So that's a starting point. So let's have a look now at example 2. In fact, I'd probably suggest that you pause and have a go at this one yourself. I mean, it is quite straightforward. So have a little go at that one. Okay, so we're going to have a look at it now. We're going to use the bar method again. So we've got our bar here like this. We know that this is worth 100%. So this is the 50, not 50, sorry. This is equal to 480, which is 100%. And we're splitting this up into 10 parts because we want 10%. So I split it into 50% first, and then I need 4 lines in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines give me 5 parts. And in this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. So I'm doing 480 divided by the amount of parts in this, which is 10, which gives me 10% for each one, remember. Each one of these is 10%, which gives me 480 divided by 10 is equal to 48. So each one of these is 48, like so. But remember, we only want one of these, which is going to be equal to 10%, which is equal to 48. Super. Okay, so that's that first one done. So let's have a look at our next one. So just check both of those answers. 5 and 48, brilliant. Now you might think to yourself here, why don't I just do this divided by this? I want a visual representation of how to show this, because when we get onto the harder ones, they can get a bit trickier. So let's have a look at our next one, example 3 now. Example 3. So what is 20% of 150? So here, I draw my bar out again. I know that this is equal to the 150, which is equal to the 100%, the total of this. But I want 20% this time. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into the 10%. So split it in half. And 1, 2, 3, 4 gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 50%. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. So 100 divided by 10 is equal to the 10%. So here we've got the 150 divided by 10, which is equal to 15. So I know that each of these are worth 15. So 15, 15, 15, all of these are worth 15. I know that each of them are worth 10% because there's 10 of them. Okay, each of these are worth 10%. And because I want 20% now, I want 2 of these. So 20% is 2 of these. So 20% is equal to 2 lots of 15, which is equal to 30, like so. Super. So, next up, what is 40% of 80? So this here is example 4. Pause now, have a go at that yourself, see if you can do it. See if you can do it using the bar method. Okay, let's have a go at this together then. So example 4, what is 40% of 80? So I'm going to draw my bar first of all, like so. My bar is worth 100%, which is the 80 here, and this is equal to the 100%. Super. I'm going to split this up into 10 parts, half first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in this section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this section. To find out how much each of these are worth, I know there's 10 of them, so it's going to be 80 divided by 10, which is equal to 8. So each of these are worth 8. There's 10 of them there, obviously, because 10 times 10 is 100. But I don't want 10% now, I want 40%. Remember that each of these are worth 10%. So how many of these would I need to get 40? Well, I'd need 4 lots of these, wouldn't I? So this here, 4 lots of 10, which is the same as saying 4 lots of 8. So 4 times by 8, which is equal to 8, 16, 24, 32. So 40% is equal to 32. Brilliant. Super. So let's have a go at the next one now. So 15% of 360. So we're getting a little bit trickier now because 15% is actually a little bit harder. So I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. This one here is example 5. So we start off with exactly the same process. So we draw our bar like so. Okay, we're going to split it up into 10 parts first of all. Brilliant. We know that this is worth 360. Super. So I'm going to work out what each of the 10% are worth first. So it's 36 divided by 10, which is equal to 36, like so. Okay, so I now know that each of these are worth 36. 36, 36, 36. Now at the moment, I know that each of these are worth 10%. Okay, but I don't want a multiple of 10. I want 15. So I've got my 10%. What I also need is a 5%, and I find a 5% by splitting this one in half. Okay, so if I split this one in half, I know at the moment it's worth 36 when it's full. Okay, but I don't want a full 10%. I want 5%. So this is half of this here. So I need to do 36 divided by 2, which is equal to, you can do it on the side if you want, 36. 2 into 3 goes once, carry the 1. 2 into 16 goes 8. This is equal to 18. So half of one of these is 18 each. So it's going to be 18 and 18, which makes sense because 18 plus 18 is 36. So this is half of this, which is going to be 5% and 5%. So then to get 15%, I need the 10% and the 5%, which is half of this one. Like so. So 10% was equal to the 36. 10% was the 36. 5% is equal to half of the 10%, which was 18. So to find 15%, I need to add these together. So both of these, okay, the 10% and the 5%, which is equal to 6 plus 8, which is equal to 4 carry the 1. 3, 1 and 1 is equal to 54. So 15% is equal to 54. Brilliant. So let's have a look now at the 35%. In fact, pause this now. See if you can have a go at it. Remember that these are each worth 10%, so you're going to need 3 of them and a 5. Okay, so pause now and have a little go at that one yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one here. This now is example 6. We've got our bar here, which we know represents our full amount, 100%. So 100% is equal to 320 in this case. I'm going to split it up into 10. So there's the first 5. There's the second 5. Super. So we know that each of these are worth 10%. So I do 320 divided by 10, because there's 10 of them, which is equal to 32. Super. So if each of these are worth 10%, I need 3 of them, and then half of one, which is going to be 5%. So it's going to be 32, 32, 32. So this is the 10%, 10%, 10%. So I've got 3 lots of 10, which is 30. So 3 of those. And then I remember I need half of one of these to get the 5%. So then the 5%, which is going to be half of this, so 32 divided by 2 is equal to 16. So this one here, the half, is worth 16. So then I need to add all these together. So it's 32 plus 32 plus 32 plus the 16. So we can do, if you want, 32 times 3. 32 times by 3, which is equal to, we'll do it as a 32 times by 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So that's equal to 96. We also need the 16 to add that on. Okay, so 6 plus 6 is equal to 12. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. And the 1 is 11. So it's 112. So 32 plus 32 plus 32 plus 16 is equal to 112. So 35% is equal to 112. So let's just check both of those. Our answers were 54 and 112. Brilliant. We're using the bar method here to make it nice and easy for us. And this works really well when we're doing some of the really trickier percentage questions, like reverse percentages and percentage increase and decrease. But we'll look at that at a different point. So here now. One more question just to keep us going. So this here is example 7 using the bar method. Okay. So example 7. A little bit in context here now. But I've done that so that we're not getting too worried about it. Jack has £400. He spends £35 on his new bike. How much does Jack spend on his new bike? So we'll use the bar method again. Like so. Split it in half. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super. We know that all of this is worth that £400, which is equal to 100%. To find out what each of these are worth, we know there's 10 of them, so I need to do the 400 divided by 10, which is equal to 40. So each of these is worth 40. Okay. If I want 35%, I'm going to need 3 of them and a half of 10%, which is the 5%. So what's a half of? So 10%, 10%, 10%. And here I want the extra, which is the 5%. Okay. So half of 40 is equal to 20 there. So it's going to be 40 plus 40, which is equal to 80. Plus another 40, which is 120, plus another 40, which is equal to the 35%, which is equal to, what did I say, 40 plus 40, 80, 120, 140. So it's, remember, we're thinking about in contact how much he spent on his bike, £140. Super. So, I've got some questions here for you to have a little go at. So make sure you're using the bar method to have a go at these. So pause now and have a go at those. Okay, I'm going to pop the answers on. So mark these in green for me. There we go. Mark those in green. Brilliant. So thank you for watching this video on percentages of amount using the bar method. Make sure you are having a go at these questions, because remember, the only way to learn maths is to do it, and have a lovely day.